sneeze. No, I'm good. Okay.
Until the candles burn down this place.
I had this nightmare the other night where I was literally stuck in a Saw movie. Let me explain. So it was me, this guy, and this girl, and I knew who they were when I was dreaming, but when I woke up for some reason I couldn't remember where I had seen them from or even what they looked like or anything. But yeah, but they weren't people I knew. I think they were actors or something that like I like or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, so there was this legend in the dream. This is all in the dream. There was this legend that if you watched this film, that the people from Saw would come and kidnap you and basically put you through all of the torturous, gruesome stuff that you have to go through when, you know, you're kidnapped by Jigsaw. So, of course, you know, my friends, my lovely, stupid friends decide, oh, let's watch the video. And they somehow forced me to watch it. I would never do that. I would never tempt fate like that. So they forced me to watch the movie, and sure enough, that night we're drugged and kidnapped, and I wake up in this facility. I kid you not, guys. This is the most realistic nightmare I have ever had. And I've had a lot of nightmares. Okay? This was it was physically exhausting, and I'll tell you why in a second. So basically, a bunch of these people were lined up, and then there was this big woman who was just like super muscular and just like, I'll kill you, like, kind of physique. And she was basically watching all of this, making sure that we weren't trying to escape or anything. And our first task was, there were these metal conveyor belts, and at the end of them were a bunch of spinning razors. And the goal was to slide on our stomachs, kind of like you're going down a water slide or whatever, and to get as far as we can without chopping our fingers off. This part in the dream is where, like, everyone starts to do it, and I just pretty much have a panic attack. And I keep thinking in my head, you know, we always think, like, oh, like, well, I don't even know what I would do in this situation when we watch a horror movie, and I was thinking, now I'm in it, and it felt so real. And then I was like, wait, this is a dream. If I can wake myself up before I have to do all these gory details, I don't have to, you know, get freaked out or traumatized or whatever. So I literally tried to wake myself up. I kept slamming myself against this brick wall and like trying to scrape myself up, and I kid you not, guys, it actually hurt. Like, it really did feel like I was slamming myself up against a wall and scratching my whole arm and everything, and I could not wake up. And then I started to think, oh my gosh, what if this isn't a dream, and what if I'm actually in this situation? I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I was freaking out. And the woman had noticed that I was the only one that hadn't gone yet. And by this point, like, people are either dead or they made it and they were ready for the next task. So the woman was like, okay, like, it's your turn. And how it worked was I'm not really sure how it was scored by points, but the farther you got, the more points you got. And you had to score at least 8 points, otherwise they would kill you. And I actually asked the woman this, so I'm like, if I get 8 points, I'm fine, but if I get anything less than 8 points, I die, right? And she said, yeah, pretty much. Like, it was so calm, and I was thinking, oh my gosh. So I'm literally, as I'm going to slide, I woke up, and it was crazy. Like, I felt physically exhausted, just completely drained, just from throwing myself against the wall and trying so hard to wake up. And throughout the entire day, I was just exhausted. Like, I felt like I needed to sleep for 10 years. Like, that's how I felt. It was so weird. And it's weird because I thought, okay, maybe, you know, when I wake up, like, my arm will be sore, because I really did feel it in the dream. And nope, like I wasn't sore at all, like anywhere, and it was just, I don't know, it was so weird. It's so weird how nightmares can drain you like that. And I honestly didn't even know that nightmares could do that. But I mean, it really makes sense. Like if it's scary enough or if it's, you know, gruesome enough, like I could see that actually happening. But yeah, so that has been a very terrifying dream. One of the most terrifying dreams I've had in a while. So I figured I would just, you know, tell you guys. I've never even seen any of the Saw movies. I haven't seen the new Jigsaw or anything because I just cannot handle gore. But I have read everything that happens in the movies, and I honestly wish I could watch them because they're just, it's just a work of genius, those movies. How they all connect and the storyline. I love it. I wish I could watch it, but I just can't handle all of that. I'm pretty sure I've said this in my top 10 horror movie video, but oh well. Not even kidding, guys. Right after I had that nightmare, I woke up and I remembered, oh my gosh, I have a couple of movies taped on the DVR. I should watch them so I can delete it. Of all movies, I decided to watch Trick or Treat. And if you guys don't know what that movie is, it's a horror movie and it's really good, but it's just filled with like gruesome images and plots and everything. It's a bunch of plots that kind of intertwine. It's really well done. It's just really, I don't know, some of those parts I'm like, no thank you, but it was really good. But of course, that's the first thing I did when I woke up. It was 8:30 in the morning and I decided, oh, I'll just watch Trick or Treat. And mistake. It was a mistake. I walk into the kitchen and I noticed that my laptop was on the kitchen table. So I start to walk over there and just this little spider, it's just hanging in front of my face. I almost walked right into it. Yeah, that was my morning. Alright, anyway, I just wanted to tell you guys that because we haven't talked in a while. On to what this video is actually about. I was going to make an October favorites video, but I decided to title this video, as you can see, October highlights. And I just thought it would be kind of cool if I just sat down and told you guys some things that have been happening in my life, as well as some favorite things that I loved in October. So yeah, let's get into it. So I'll kind of start off with some of my all-time favorite things that I have just been loving in October. So I'm going to start off with my favorite beauty thing. And I don't know, this is kind of weird because I didn't really wear lipstick that much in October, which was weird for me because I've really been getting into lipstick. But this lipstick that I'm wearing is a ColourPop lipstick, and I've mentioned them before in my other favorites video about how much I love them and how inexpensive and good quality they are. But this is in the shade Calypso. It's kind of a brownish nude, but also has a little bit of pink in it because it just goes with every outfit that I can conjure up. Like, it just always ends up looking really good with it. I have been completely obsessed ever since maybe the second week of October. I have been loving hot chocolate with whipped cream and cinnamon. So good, you guys. I don't know what it is about the cinnamon. You don't want to put too much on it because, you know, if you're drinking it in and you inhale it, you know, it's just kind of like the cinnamon challenge. It starts to make you choke, so you gotta make sure you just sprinkle it on the whipped cream. And I don't know what it is about putting cinnamon on hot chocolate or hot cocoa, whichever you say. I say both sometimes. I don't know what it is. It just really complements the flavor of the hot chocolate, and it is delicious. So if you guys haven't tried that, definitely try it out and see if you like it. Me and my mom actually made homemade caramel apples. I posted a picture of it on Instagram, but they were really good. Another really easy fall snack that I've been eating that I love is an apple with peanut butter and cinnamon. Basically what you do is you take an apple and then you slice the slices pretty thin, but I mean not crazy thin. But you're basically going to take two of the slices and make a sandwich. If I have a picture of those or a recipe, I will put it down below so you guys can see for yourself and make it if that's something you like. But basically for the filling, you put peanut butter on and then put another slice on top just like a sandwich. And then what I do is I take a little bit of cinnamon and then sprinkle it on top. You can also kind of leave it open-faced, and if you really like chocolate chips, you can put the chocolate chips in the peanut butter, and that tastes really good as well. A huge thing that I have absolutely been loving this month is this backpack purse that I got from Payless. I was actually shopping for black pants and black shoes for my work because I currently work at AMC, and I was looking for shoes, and they had this deal where you can pretty much anything in the store, you buy something and then get something 50% off. So I got this for 50% off, and it is just, I love this. I've always wanted to get a backpack purse, really so that I could put like my books and everything in it, because I've always wanted a purse big enough so that you can put your reading material in it, because, you know, me, I need that. And that leads me to my next favorite, actually, which is the book that I've been reading this month. And I haven't gotten very far in it. I did mention it in my very first YouTube video about the books that I was on my summer reading list, and I said in that video that they'd probably turn into a fall reading list, and I was so right. I have been reading Someday Maybe by Lauren Graham. If you guys want to know a little bit more about this book, you can go ahead and check out my very first YouTube video where I talk about my summer reading list and what each book is kind of about, and I'll link that right up here for you guys, or not up here, up over here. I always get confused with that, but it'll be linked over here. October has just been very crazy for me, and I'll get into that later. I love what I've read so far. It's not boring or anything. That's not the reason why I haven't been reading it. I just haven't had time, and I kind of get, when I get really busy, sometimes I get into those ruts where I don't feel like reading at all, and I hate those ruts. I always try to get out of those, but sometimes it happens, and I've been in one of those, and this is a really good book. Like, it does not deserve to be just put off to the side. It's just all about finding yourself and just trying to succeed in a world that's constantly trying to drag you down. And I don't know, it's very inspiring. Even you know, 50 pages in, it just really inspires me to be my best and go after what I want. But yeah, so this is the book I've been reading. I highly recommend it, at least so far. I really love it. So if you guys want to check that out, definitely do. I can link this below as well if you want to go check it out or buy it or whatever. So I have one more beauty product that I've absolutely been loving, and it's the Neutrogena makeup remover wipes. This one, they have different kinds. This one is hydrating. I usually do the night calming ones. They're purple. These were actually on sale at Walgreens. It was 2 for $10 if you have the Walgreens card, and I did, so it was absolutely perfect. So I got 2 of these, but I got the hydrating one because I haven't had this one in a while, and oh my gosh, guys, it is so soothing on my skin. It's not as harsh on my mascara if I decide to take my mascara off with the wipes. I usually use coconut oil because that's just better for your lashes, but this is very gentle on my mascara when I just do not feel like going through all the trouble of like slathering the oil on and everything. But I definitely recommend these if you want to try a new kind of makeup remover wipe. I'm going to get into music now. Music, media, all that lovely stuff that I love to talk about. A couple songs that I really started loving at the beginning of October was Out Loud by Gabbie Hanna. If you guys don't know who that is, she's a YouTuber originally named The Gabbie Show. She's very popular. Now she changed her YouTube name to Gabbie Hanna ever since the song came out, and she wants to try something new, and I don't know, it's a really good song. It's very emotional, it's very real. I'm going to link all of the, every single song that I talk about, I'm going to link down below so you guys can have access to it if you guys want to listen to it and see if you like it. Dusk Till Dawn by ZAYN and Sia. That's a pretty popular song. It's just, oh gosh, I can't even describe to you. It's just, that's another song that just feels like emotional and just raw, and I don't know, it really makes you think about the people in your life who care about you, and I don't know, I really like it a lot. I also really like Find You by Nick Jonas. Again, another artist that I absolutely love. I love Nick Jonas. I just think he has such a cool sound, and I don't know, it's just, he just gives me really cool vibes whenever he sings. I'm just like, okay, like, I love you. Don't Deserve You by Plumb. And that song is very, very emotional, and I just realized that there's kind of a theme with the songs that I've been liking this past month. But very, very emotional, just talking about a person in your life that has just loved you and cared for you no matter what, even when you don't deserve it. And it's very, very just emotional. That's the best word that I can think of. I know I keep saying emotional, but it's true. Another music favorite, my girl Taylor Swift. Her album comes out November 10th. So far she has released 4 songs so far, and I have loved every single one of them. Each one of them have been on repeat. She just released this one called Call It What You Want. I believe that's what it's called. And it's just amazing. I swear, every single song that she comes out with, each one of them gets better and better. I don't know. She's queen. She's my all-time favorite artist. I love her so much. She's so talented. Love her as a person. Queen. Also, another queen, Demi Lovato. Her album is out. Amazing. My favorite songs on her album so far have to be You Don't Do It For Me Anymore, and Daddy Issues is a really good song to just dance to, and it has such a good beat. I love Tell Me You Love Me. Sorry Not Sorry is good, but it's not one of my all-time favorites. Those are probably my top 3. But all of the songs on that album, there's not one song that I dislike. Another media thing that I want to point out to you guys, I still love Choices, by the way. This was an app that I mentioned in my August favorites video. I love it. Again, I still have an issue that the fact that they don't give you more gems and you have to spend all this crazy money in order to make choices that are really, really, like, that you really, really want to do. It's just crazy. I don't know. I think that they should really fix that. But the book that I've been loving on here, on Choices, is, I still love The Sophomore. The Sophomore is definitely an all-time favorite. But I also love High School Story, and I love their new one, It Lives in the Woods, because I was waiting for them to come out with a scary themed book, and so far it's really, really good. High School Story is kind of nostalgic for me because this is the same company that made the app My High School Story, or maybe it's just High School Story, I don't know, but it's a really, really good app where you build your own high school. You're the new kid and you help build this school and you meet all these people, and I don't know, it's a fun game. This is not sponsored at all, but I really enjoy that game. It's been a while since I played it, so I can't remember every single detail, but it was cool that they took the main characters in that app and put them on this book and named it High School Story. Like, you meet a bunch of the characters from the app on this book about it. Yeah, I could go on and on about these, so I might as well move on. I love this other app. It's called Cooking Fever. Definitely check it out. It's a really fun cooking game. I'll show you a little bit of it. But this is Cooking Fever. It's loading. But there's a bunch of... Oh, hello. Welcome back. There is a bunch of little restaurants that you can buy with the gems that you earn, and you can open like each restaurant. Each one is different. There's a pizzeria, there's a sushi bar, there's a sports bar, there's a bakery, there's a diner. It's really cool, and you get to make all these different recipes, and it's just a fun way to waste time, I guess. Now I'm going to move on to TV shows / movies. So the first movie that I'm going to say is definitely It. And I know I have a whole video about this. I'll link it up here if you want to watch it, but I basically reviewed it and said how I felt about it. But it was really, really good. And the reason why I say it now in this video is because I went and saw it again with my dad because he hadn't seen it yet and I really wanted him to see it. And we saw it and it was just as good the second time. And I love seeing movies for a second time because you just get to see so much that you missed when you watched it the first time. I don't know, there's something about watching a movie the second time that I just really, really love. And I finally got to watch Jeepers Creepers 3, guys. I loved it. A lot of people didn't because it was really confusing. The third movie takes place between the first movie and the second movie, and they didn't really... I mean, if you were paying attention, I feel like they explained it well at the beginning, but a lot of people didn't catch on, so they were very upset about it because they're like, when did this take place? This doesn't make any sense. The ending doesn't make any sense. But it does. You just have to really pay attention to what the people are talking about, especially at the beginning, because then you figure out that the third movie takes place where the first movie left off. I don't know why they do it like that, but regardless, I really, really enjoyed it. I just watched it. Next movie, Trick or Treat, was another movie, and I had watched, that was the first time I watched it, was 2 mornings ago when I had the nightmare and everything, and it is really good. And just a recap, it has a bunch of different plots that intertwine together, and by the end it just kind of makes sense, like how all of these plots are connected. And I think it's a really underrated movie because I feel like not a lot of people talk about it too much because either they don't know about it or they think it'll be stupid. I don't think it's the best Halloween/horror movie I've ever seen in my life, but it has really good potential, and I hope that they make a second one. I don't know if they will because it came out a while ago, I think, but it was really good, so I hope that they make a second one. I would definitely watch it. It was very creative, and I think that's why I loved it the most, was because of how creative everything intertwined together, and just the way the movie was done is very different from the way other horror movies are done. So I definitely recommend it if you haven't seen it and you're kind of on the fence about seeing it. There's not a lot of gore, there's a couple parts, and it's really not that bad, and that's coming from me who cannot handle watching Saw or any of those really disgusting movies. So it's not that bad, I promise. You can totally handle it. And that is pretty much it for my October favorites. I don't know why that's a thing now. I don't know why I keep doing that. I just have like this thing where I'm like, yes, okay. I think my dad's coming upstairs. He's probably gonna interrupt me. Yep. Come in.
Keep on filming.
Yeah, okay. He likes to come in here when I film, and then he just snores, and I can't. It's just too distracting.
I scared you last night, huh?
Oh my gosh. That was just...
That was just awesome.
Well, I had a nightmare. I was physically exhausted the entire day. Like, I actually had been trying to get out of my nightmare.
Wow.
And then, of course, you had to do that the same day. Oh my gosh, guys. I left my curling iron on. That would be really bad.